Dad hides camera in daughter's hair. What he records shocks everyone. When a quiet father slipped a tiny camera into his daughter's hair before sending her off to school, he never expected to uncover a truth that would shake an entire community. The footage he captured wasn't just about cruel words or childish pranks. It revealed a disturbing pattern of humiliation, neglect, and abuse happening right under the noses of teachers. What began as a worried parent's attempt to understand his daughter's sudden silence turned into evidence that exposed the dark side of a prestigious school, forcing everyone, from classmates to administrators, to confront an ugly reality no one wanted to admit. Before we continue this story, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video so we can bring you even more amazing stories like this one. Daniel, a single father, had always believed in the promise of education. His daughter Maya was his world, a bright 11-year-old who loved science fairs, drawing and running track. For years, she had been cheerful and outspoken, always the first to volunteer for group projects or present her artwork proudly in class. But something had changed in recent months. Maya began coming home from school withdrawn, quiet, and often with excuses to skip activities she once adored. Her grades slipped. She stopped talking about her friends. At night, Daniel would hear her cry softly in her room, brushing it off as just being tired. But her father's intuition told him something was wrong. He tried reaching out to the school. Teachers reassured him that she was just adjusting and reminded him that middle school could be tough. The principal, too, dismissed his concerns, insisting Maya was only shy. But the bruised look in his daughter's eyes told a different story. One morning, while tying Maya's hair into her usual ponytail, Daniel slipped in a tiny camera. It was a desperate act, one he wasn't proud of, but he needed the truth. That day, as Maya walked into her school with her head bowed low, the silent witness in her hair began recording everything the adults had ignored. The footage shocked Daniel. At first, it showed ordinary moments. Children chatting in the hall, the buzz of lockers opening and closing, teachers writing lessons on the board. But then the tone shifted. In the cafeteria, Maya sat alone at the far end of a table, while other students whispered, snickered, and deliberately scooted their chairs away. She quietly ate her lunch, pretending not to hear. A girl leaned over, grabbed her apple, and tossed it into the trash. No teacher noticed. In gym class, things were worse. Maya loved running, but when teams were chosen, she was always left until last. The coach didn't intervene as kids groaned and muttered, "Not her again." During a relay, she stumbled, and instead of encouragement, she was met with laughter and cruel chants. But the most disturbing footage came from the classroom. Maya raised her hand again and again, eager to answer a math question, but the teacher consistently ignored her. When she finally whispered an answer under her breath, the student next to her mocked her accent. The class erupted in laughter, and the teacher brushed it off as kids being kids. The camera revealed a cycle: isolation, bullying, and the quiet complicity of adults who failed to protect her. Each scene confirmed Daniel's worst fears, that his daughter wasn't just being teased, she was being systematically broken down. That evening, Daniel replayed the footage again and again, his hands trembling. Every cruel laugh, every ignored hand raised, every moment of humiliation cut into him like a knife. His daughter's pain was no longer invisible. He now held undeniable proof of a system that failed her. Armed with the footage, Daniel walked into the principal's office the next morning. He requested a meeting with teachers, coaches, and school administrators. At first, they smiled politely, expecting another overly sensitive parent lecture. But then, Daniel placed his laptop on the table and pressed play. The room fell silent. They watched Maya sitting alone at lunch while children mocked her. They watched her be humiliated in gym class, ignored in the classroom, and laughed at for simply existing. Teachers averted their eyes. The principal's face paled. "What you're seeing," Daniel said with a controlled but furious voice, "is what my daughter lives through every single day in your school, and you all let it happen." For the first time, the staff had no excuses. The evidence was irrefutable. The camera had captured not only the cruelty of students, but the indifference of adults who were supposed to protect her. The walls of silence and denial they had built crumbled in that office. The principal stammered promises to investigate, but Daniel wasn't finished. He took the footage to the school board, to parents, even to local media. What started as one father's desperate act became a public scandal. Parents demanded answers. Teachers were placed under review, and Maya's classmates, now seeing their behavior exposed, could no longer hide behind the comfort of anonymity. The camera had spoken for Maya when no one else would. The aftermath was both painful and transformative. Some teachers resigned, others were retrained, and the principal was forced into early retirement. Anti-bullying policies were rewritten. For the first time, students were encouraged to speak openly about what they faced, and parents demanded accountability from the school. But the most profound change was in Maya herself. For weeks, she still carried the scars of humiliation, hesitant to trust that anything would be different. Yet slowly she began to heal. Her father's unwavering belief in her gave her strength. With new support systems in place, Maya rediscovered her voice, joining clubs, running track again, and even winning a science fair medal that year. For Daniel, the experience was bittersweet. He had exposed a truth that no parent ever wants to see, but in doing so, he gave his daughter a chance to reclaim her childhood. He learned that silence only protects bullies and neglectful systems, while courage, even in the form of a hidden camera, can change everything. And as for the community, they were forced to ask themselves a haunting question. If one child could endure so much pain in plain sight, how many others had been suffering in silence? The footage became more than just evidence. It was a mirror held up to everyone, parents, teachers, and peers alike. A reminder that sometimes the smallest voices carry the heaviest truths. Because when a father hid a camera in his daughter's hair, he didn't just uncover cruelty, he exposed the cost of looking away and the undeniable power of finally being seen.